movements. Oh wait, that's a ton of... Run! Oh, he can see us now. It's too late. We have to stay and learn to paint. There's no other choice. We just have to serve him.
Welcome, Reaper Miniature fans. Today we are painting Marthrangul, the dragon. Another large dragon from the Reaper Miniatures Bones line of miniatures. I'll do a little 360. Another huge mini. This mini is a multi-part kit. You stick the wings and legs, the head on and the tail. With this miniature we don't stick the wings on because we want to paint these separate to make life a little bit easier. I am going to be sticking this miniature onto a square base, 200 by 60mm base of an MDF base. I will quickly show you it now. There we go, one of these bases. But we're going to paint the miniature separate to the base, so we're going to get the base probably gravelled up because of the way how low this miniature is. If you see some miniatures, if you stick them to the base too soon, you'll have a very hard time painting the belly under the legs there. So sometimes it's easier to actually stick the miniature to the base last, and like the same with the wings, we'll stick the wings on once they're all painted up. So I will undercoat this dragon. I'm not sure which colour to go with yet. It's either going to be red, blue, green, purple. I don't know, I seem to have blue striking my brain at the minute, saying go for blue, so we'll probably go for blue. So I will come back once I've done the undercoat and I'll show you what I do next. With this dragon I want to raise him on the base a little bit. So what I'm going to do is add a little clay base to the miniature. So I'm just going to take a few pieces of my air drying clay and use them as a reference and guide for the miniature here. So I've got one piece there. I'm having one piece here. One more piece for the other leg here. And I'm just going to push the miniature onto the base where I want him to go. I think that makes him a little bit higher, which means I can work around. So that's about all we need to do for there. I'll take the miniature off, and now what I can do is I can work around this area, add some more bits to the base just so it all matches in. Once the air drying clay has dried, it will come away from the base, so all you do then is you stick it back on with some PVA glue. So I'm just building up the base with more clay, just so it all matches in nicely once I add the gravel. Don't need a lot. And one more piece just there. I think that'll be enough. And then all we do is we use our little finger in the water and we just smooth off the little rocks. Don't worry about them moving. You're going to stick them back onto the base. There we are. Super quick and easy, but very effective, and looks fantastic once it's all painted up. And once you've added the gravel to the base, it'll all blend in perfectly well. This base I will probably be, because I'm going to paint the dragon blue, I think we're going to have a frost dragon effect, so the base will have snow on. So we'll be doing some snow work later on in the video. And there we are. So I'll let that dry, then I'll re-stick them to the base, and we'll come back when I'm ready to go on to the next stage. The dragon has had its undercoat now, and I've added the gravel to the base. So my next stage is I am using some blue tone ink wash by Army Painter, and I shall cover the whole dragon, and I will give a base coat to my base. So I will come back once I've added the blue tone to the dragon, and then we can start the dry brushing process. I'm going to be making this dragon into almost an ice dragon, so I'll be using light blues. We'll be using some Blue Flame and Glacier Blue by MSP Paints to bring out the highlights on the dragon. The Blue Flame, which is a lovely, very light blue colour. This is what I'm going to be using for the inside of the wings. That will give it a lovely effect. So I will come back once I've done the ink wash, and we'll go from there. All the base coats are done now. I've added the ink wash to the dragon. That was the Blue Army Painter ink wash. I have done a base coat to the base. The wings are being painted, and also added the blue ink wash. Now I'm using a dragon blue, and I have glacier blue for the dry brushing of all the scales and the body of the dragon. What I'm going to be doing is mixing and matching with the two colours using my dry brush. And first of all, we're starting with the dragon blue, and then I'll start bringing in the lighter glacier blue highlights onto the dragon as well, and I'll go through that with you now. Okay, let's get started. Right, so I am going straight into the dragon blue with my terrain dry brush by Army Painter. I'm taking off the excess on my tissue there, and I'm going straight onto the dragon. Just lightly. I want it to hit the scales more than I do the base of the miniature. Just going over all the areas where the scales are, like so. Looking at the highest areas again, around the face and the cheekbones and the nose. We'll give them a nice coverage. All along the tail. And brings out all the lovely plate scales. Like so. There we are. And already got a lovely lovely effect, and it's working very nicely. It's bringing out all the lovely scales on this miniature. Like so. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the glacier blue. Again, this will be bringing out all the highest areas. Just a slight on the tail, leaving some areas recessed and dark. It's all about the contrast with the colours and the different shades, which brings out extra detail and brightness to certain areas of your miniature. You don't just plaster the whole thing with paint. It's like the top of the thigh here, calf there, shoulders, show you again on this side, just mixing a little bit of the paint together, and just on the top there, top of the thighs, just along the tail. On the tail you're taking it onto the ridges, leave the incest in side ridges closed. There we are. And again around the face. And I think that's about enough. You don't want to overdo it. It's knowing when to stop. There you go. That should do me for now. And that's roughly all I need to do for the body for a lovely effect. There we are. So now I'm going to show you how to make your base all cold and icy. And for that we're using graveyard bone and some splintered bone and some pure white by MSP. Now I've got them on my little palette here, and what we do is we dry brush with our large dry brush, and we're going straight into the splintered bone, which is your darkest of the colours. So we're going to go straight over the whole base. Nice thick coat. Going over the whole thing. Very simple to do. You go in for lighter colours into the pure white will be our last coat, and what we do is we just highlight all the areas with each of the lighter shades into the rocks. So now I'm going into the splintered bone. We're still leaving some of the darker highlights on the base, but what we're doing is putting a very heavy dry brush over the whole thing. I mean, if you look at photographs on Google of ice and snow and areas of rock, everything looks white, everything looks cold. So we're trying to get that effect onto our base and make it look cold. And once we've done this, we can add some snow effects here, just dotted here and there to the base. So now I'm going into the white and I'm adding it in with the splintered bone. And again, we're going over. This is giving even more of a highlight to the base. On the tops of the rocks. And that's about all you need to do for this part. There we are. Now I'll let that dry and I'll come back and show you what I do with the snow. For the snow, I am using Army Painter Snow. It's a nice grained snow, and all you do with the snow is you put some of the snow into a tub and just add PVA glue until you get the right thickness that you want. I have done a video on basing miniatures with snow before, so if you have a look in my collection on YouTube, you'll find that there. So all I'm doing is mixing in the snow. You see that popping light? It's going to reflect the light because it's bright white, so you're not going to get a good view of how thick this is. And I'm just using a little stick to put on the snow, and all we do is we just add it into places. I've left the snow quite runny, so it should run into the little gaps that I want, and it'll settle onto the board. So I'm just plonking it around. I just want this in little areas, just over the base. On some bases I like to cover the whole base with snow, but with this one, as there's quite a few rocks, I want it so it's just patchy snow. Again, with any miniature, if you look on Google Maps how snow falls and melts, you'll see that most of the snow will be up against the rocks where the wind has blown the snow, and it's thicker in certain places than others. So it would be more patchy on the ground, but up against the rocks you'd get nice big clumps of snow that's either melting, or just because it's a huge big pile that's been formed from where the wind's blown the snow up against the rocks. So that's how we do the snow. And I'll come back once I've finished the base and show you the finished miniature. It's very simple to do all these little effects to your minis, and it's great fun, so try it. So here is the completed miniature. I'll give you a 360. As you can see, I've added all the snow to the base, I've added flocking and some shrubs. Fantastic miniature. I'll put up some photos as well so you can see what it's like with the photographs. I painted the horns, claws black. I gave white pupils, white eyes with black striped pupil. Absolutely lovely. I'm very happy with this. The blues came out lovely. They really give off a nice effect, showing all the scales, especially on the highlighted areas and across the face there. I hope you like this video, and I will show you now what's going to be for next week. Next Wednesday's build and paint is rock. This is another huge miniature, and was given to me as a birthday present from one of my patrons. Thank you very much, Nels Weber. Absolutely lovely. Thank you so much for this. So this is going to be my little birthday treat to myself for painting next Wednesday, and I will show you all how I am going to paint this magnificent miniature. Look at the size of it. Beautiful. This is going to be fun to paint. So, tune in for next Wednesday's show. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, then please think about becoming my patron. Just follow the links below the videos. And until next time.
Goodbye, my fellow ones. Sleep well. Dream of evil paintbrushes.